Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by Flintstone Gummies. I just want to take a quick second to thank our sponsors for this fantastic season that we've had.
Oh,
You know,
yeah?
it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
Get the
Actually?
fuck off the
Oh,
phone.
okay.
Get off
Hold
the
on
phone.
here. If we got
Is
to
that
get on the
juice
phone.
box?
No, this is a
We gotta get
Band-Aid,
on the-
my guy.
It's
Oh,
a
look at
Band-Aid.
juice box.
All right, welcome back to another episode of No Place Like Homaha. I'm your host, JD Wonder, alongside Nick Hendricks and Mikey Love. Full transparency, I am on vacation right now, so I am not inebriated,
transparency,
but I
nobody
am
asked.
buzzed.
I love how he has to
You know
specifically say he's not drunk or buzzed.
I am a little
We
buzzed, but it's been like a
did
constant
not
flow
ask.
since like Sunday. It's just
We-
been
Yeah.
constant.
Did not ask.
Damn.
But currently, Mikey
Um,
is also using a stapler as
He's
a
using
telephone.
a stapler as a telephone, yes. There's a lot going on. But let's dive into some college baseball as we finish up this season. Ole Miss is
Hell
your
yeah.
national champs. Clap it up, clap it up.
Clap it up.
Real quick. Mikey, you better
Going-
clap. I'm looking at you on your fake phone. There's a
Also, Joe-
boy. Oh, you want the horns, my guy.
You want the motherfucking
You
smoke,
want
my
the
guy?
smoke,
I got
my
the
boy.
stapler
Also-
on standby, bro.
Stapler, my
You
boy.
better, mama.
Bro, I got caramel pop.
Also-
What about that?
I got two
No,
phones.
that's like gas, by the
I was gonna say, Josh, I
I got
hope you
2
don't
phones.
have the carousel going here.
So carousel.
Yeah, as it was the last time we tried, or the last time it was with you and me by ourselves, because I'm getting a carousel vibe on this.
You're
I'm a little
riding
bit
an
lost right now.
imaginary
Am I
animal on a
actually like
bus?
super drunk? Like
No,
What is he
I don't know
talking
what's
about?
going on.
I
No,
haven't had
I'm
a
just
drink
like-
today, and I feel like I might be in the same
Lost.
boat.
never mind. Nick will figure it out. We'll
Okay.
figure it out. Okay.
Anyways, looking at the championship series, Nick, do you have the scores for those games? I know Ole Miss
I do.
won both, so they didn't even take it to a game 3.
First game was 10-3 Ole Miss. They really had kind of a big eruption as the latter half of the game went on. I mean, Oklahoma's pitching was still phenomenal. The latter half is what really screwed them up in game number 1. Otherwise, in game 2, Horton was a beast once again. He had 13 strikeouts, and then sadly 2 catcher errors by Crooks just kind of let the game go through. 2 runs scored. Nick is a bitch. Okay, well, glad.
For
glad
the
to see we can
listeners
start
out
some
there
fun.
on all of our platforms, shout out again to Cranio Media for putting us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everything along
Yes,
those
thank you.
lines.
Also,
Mikey,
we have
really-
special guest today sitting over here in the chair. I don't know how much you can see, but
Nick,
she's
when
over
did
in
I
the chair.
ask?
I don't
Damn.
When
know.
did I
Pointy
ask?
fingers. Ooh.
Got him. No,
But-
Mike held up a sticky note that says Nick is a bitch. So,
I didn't hold it up.
continuing, Nick, though.
Speaking of
Great
it, on
stat
the
line
desk.
so far, though.
But no, Saturday or the Sunday's game was really kind of a testament to see how both teams definitely were head-to-head, probably the 2 best teams left in college baseball by far. And we talked about this earlier, and I'll say it again. As I tweeted it out, Ole Miss was not supposed to be there. Ole Miss was the last team, one of the last 4 teams in. And there was a video that I saw from Tim Elko. He said, "We're about to get brisket hot." And I was like, what does that even mean? And then all of a sudden you really put the pieces together and, hey, they won a natty for the first time in school history. And I think actually this might be, and I'm going to fact check this here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this was almost a Coastal Carolina, except instead of getting to 3 straight super regionals, they made it to 3 College World Series and then finally won it. But let me check to see how many champion or at least college baseball tournaments that they've been in and gotten to the College World Series.
Mhm. I mean, I knew this was their first championship series. This is the first time they had made it to the championship game. But either way, it was going to be kind of a prophecy fulfilled for either team. So it was either Ole Miss was one of the, like we just said, one of the last 4 teams in, and it would be their first ever appearance and win of the championship. Or if Oklahoma would have won it, then it would have been the first time ever in history that baseball and softball have won in the same season, both being the men's and women's CWS.
And what's crazy about that is that and Mikey talked about it too when we started the regional and he specifically mentioned like the AC or the ACC tournament, how teams with that kind of pool play bracket can't really get hot. Well, the SEC, Ole Miss wasn't hot. They ended up dropping out of the SEC very, very fast. I believe it was in the first round to Vanderbilt. And then they get into the regionals, just swing on through the regionals, didn't allow a run all the way up until Arkansas in the College World Series. And then now Arkansas forced a game 3 or forced a winner-take-all game. And then Ole Miss decides to just absolutely shove with a complete game, 113-pitch complete game with 7 strikeouts, by the way. And then that flips back into the championship series, which Oklahoma was salivating because they were like, we only have to deal with 2 starting pitchers. Well, both starting pitchers for Ole Miss decided to just come out and shove. Offense was lighting up the boards as well. And the 9-hole hitter for Ole Miss during the College World Series, Calvin Harris, have a frickin' tournament, buddy. I mean, the entire regional tournament, Calvin Harris was just lighting it up for Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely agree. And we even talked about, though, the thing that gets me is that we talked about earlier how Ole Miss shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have been in the tournament. And Old Dominion, Rutgers, and all those other places got screwed. All these kinds of things, and yet
too soon.
They get screwed.
You said
too soon.
Old Dominion did get screwed.
So you think that if Old Dominion gets in the tournament besides Ole Miss, then they win it?
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first, folks. You have heard it here
Yes.
first.
Hey, you also heard this.
Facts.
That is not true, Mikey.
Thanks for playing.
Again, for those listeners out there on all of our other platforms, again, shout out Cronio Media. Mikey held up a false sticky note that said that I have the fattest peen, when in actuality it should
With a
be
PH.
Mikey.
With a
Should be
PH.
fattest ass is me.
I don't think this says JOSH
Biggest
has the
booty
fattest
belongs
with
to
a PH and peen. Nowhere on the sticky note does it say Mike.
That's because you're presenting false information. So instead of Nick presenting
Here,
false
you want my source?
Nick
source?
has been good so
source.
far. He's
my
giving us
source.
factual information. You are not. You are wrong.
Improvements. It only took us 20 shows.
There you go.
Source is good.
So no, it says
This
God,
ain't-
but
It's God.
Oh, I was gonna say this ain't no CNN. We don't got fake sources here.
no facts.
Anyways.
No. Also, we had just kind of also a little bit of helpful information that comes through that we can touch on later, but we did get a Golden Spikes Award winner as well announced.
The podcast got a Golden Spikes Award winner?
No, but we got the Golden Spikes Award winner announced so we can say it on said podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been out for a little bit, but we can get to that in a little bit as well.
Thomas the Tank Engine?
No, it was not Tommy Tanks. But you're no, yeah, there is a possibility of that.
No, it's where he's going.
Oh, he did get signed to LSU now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. NC State had the biggest freshman come in and decides, well, we can't try to keep you.
I think that has to do with the NIL deals, though. More than
Probably. Yeah, probably. I would assume so.
I'll pull up the transfer portal stuff.
Oh, gosh. We about had another 10 seconds of quiet dead air.
Just add the Jeopardy theme song.
I'm excited.
There you are.
So, Mike, what are you smacking on right now? Dive down a rabbit hole real fast.
Bro, grapefruit high chews. Absolute gas.
Yeah. Not a
Mhm.
sponsor, though, huh?
Uh-uh.
No.
Not yet. Working on it.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That'd be a fun little sponsor that we can get. What'd you say?
Here you go. Chopstick.
Oh,
That's our
okay.
new partner.
Chapstick.
Our sponsor is now Chapstick?
Or is it Chapstick?
Peaches and cream. Peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream chapstick. Wonderful.
I love
Tell us a
summer,
little bit more about it, Mikey.
So chopstick, got petroleum in it. mineral oil, bunch of other big words I can't say. Vegetable oil. It's got alcohol in it. It's gonna get litty titty on whatever
No.
day it ends in Y.
Bro.
It weighs 0.15 ounces or 4 Gs, 4
Hmm.
grams. Cocaine.
4 Gs.
You know, whatever you're doing.
Whoa.
Yeah. Here's the barcode in case you want to scan it.
There you go. Just let me take a – yep, there you go.
And,
All right.
Thanks for coming my TED Talk.
Solid. We love that.
Yep.
Thanks for that wonderful information, Mike.
What's on here? Advertising major. You know what it is.
Yeah. Well, too bad we still don't have any sponsors. But that's okay because
Too
we're
bad
moving
didn't
up in
ask
the
you,
world.
but
We're moving up in subscribers. We got 14 subscribers.
Hey, yo.
did you create 13 different pages?
No, actually.
Who are they?
He's just low-key.
I want individual shout-outs.
30
No.
subscribers.
I actually, no,
individual
not going to
shout-outs.
lie. And met a guy in the mall like this last weekend, and he literally subscribed right in front of me.
Did you, like, threaten to kill him or something or what?
You have a YouTube
No,
account?
I did not.
Yeah, you subscribe right now. Yeah.
No, I told him
I'll
about the
murder your
pod. I
fucking
told him
family.
about No Place Like Homaha, how we're just a bunch of dudes being dudes, just talking about some baseball, kind of being
I'm
a
a
little
redhead,
funny,
but-
you know. Well, okay, so it's two dudes and a redhead being two dudes and a redhead. There you go.
Mhm.
Boy.
What's that show? 2 girls, 1 cup. 3 girls, 1 cup. What is?
No, we're not doing
Hey,
two girls,
yo.
1 cup.
The After Dark is coming, Mikey.
Oh my gosh.
It's on the hub.
After Dark.
We do not need. I don't know.
So yeah,
No.
reeling it back in real quick. Reeling it back in.
Yeah.
What are the other big transfers though? That
The Vanderbilt shortstop or third baseman.
where did he go to?
LSU.
LSU as well.
Is it LSU or Tennessee?
Huh. That'd be crazy if LSU picked
Looking-
up a big transfer.
I'm looking up the 2022 baseball transfer portal list here.
I think it was LSU. I think.
Well, hold on. I have an ad blocker on my site, so this is not going to be it.
Unbelievable.
I
Really,
know.
you
I'm
don't
trying
have an
to.
ad blocker. If it's
Well, what?
not blocking your ad,
Whatever.
get wrecked, nerd.
D1 baseball transfer tracker. Here we go. Oh, this doesn't give me anything right now. And I got to subscribe to
That's what I'm saying.
D1
Please
baseball.
figure it out.
Well,
Oh my God, I'll do it myself.
working on it, Mike.
There's
I'll
All
do it
right.
myself.
it says just looking there's 3 Arkansas players looking to transfer.
I was going to say the SEC does. I know they've got a potential to have a lot this year.
Gabe Starks is going to transfer.
So,
I got a bunch of guys who are going to transfer.
Preston
How many you
Toll,
want?
utility player Max Solis from Arkansas. I am not going into each individual one. So if you just see any big,
I can. I have a whole thread.
all right, go for it. Where's the thread at, Mike? Keep them coming.
You don't want these. Some of these dudes aren't even.
not
named.
factual.
Well, they're factual.
Well, give us some name. If you can't just tease us. Come on now.
Yes, I can.
We're
I'll
sit-
blue balls the shit out of you. I don't give a fuck.
Oh man, here we go.
Well, some of these guys are like JUCO transfers or.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see if I can find this.
Why does
Look
everything
here
got an?
one.
I just think the biggest one was Tommy Tanks, though. That was really
It
surprising.
is. So, yeah. So his name is Carter Young. He's a shortstop from Vanderbilt, and he's going to LSU.
Mm-hmm. So 2 big names going to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, and I think LSU does end up getting a lot of transfers kind of coming in because they still are one of those solid teams in the SEC. Like they're never out of it. They're always in the talk, no matter who's on and who's off. Also, so I'm looking at kind of LSU's transfer portal right now at the moment as well. Jacob Hatesy, pitcher, is out. They got DiGiacomo, he's out, transfer, and still hasn't gotten one yet. Kohler Cranford, he's still looking for a transfer right now. Brennan Holt, he's going to Oklahoma State. Brody Drost, he's looking to transfer as well. So,
I mean, looking at transfer teams from this year, Texas A&M was very largely, especially under a new coach of Jim Schlossnagle, very much so brand new. They had, I think, 5 on their roster, like actually coming into the season. So he had to pick up a ton of guys from the transfer portal, and they still made it to the 8 teams in Omaha.
Yeah, that's great, or that's incredible. But Texas A&M as well, they just had one of those teams this year that was not. They weren't catching streaks at the right time. They were just consistently playing good baseball all year round. I mean, you just look at the team that they were coming into the series. They got slapped around a little bit in the CWS, but I mean, still, you had an Oklahoma team who just caught fire, and the bullpen was right there with them. And I think that was the biggest thing, is you had both bullpens going together in Texas A&M and Oklahoma, who I think had probably the strongest coming into the tournament, and one offense just caught a couple of runs early, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin at that point. And that offense being Oklahoma.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I think the weirdest thing about this past CWS is that all 8 teams, I felt like, were super competitive. And yet it wasn't until, what was it, Thursday, I think, was the first game that the game was not decided by more than 4 runs.
Are you talking about?
It just seemed like every game was just a blowout almost in one way.
Yeah, I would say so. There was a lot of high-scoring games. And just like we talked about, is everybody this year could hit. And so it was just going to be a matter of your bullpen limiting the amount of runs. And Ole Miss definitely exploited that in the first game. And then the second game was just a pitcher's duel. Both going at it.
Well, and I felt bad for Crooks too, because if you actually watched that 8th inning, new guy comes in for Oklahoma, a curve or one hit by DeCantis just to open it up in the top or in the bottom half of the frame, and then you get a very, very well executed hit and run after or before a steal, and then that got runners over after a wild pitch with a curveball, and it crossed up Oklahoma's catcher Crooks, and you could tell that it was just one of those instances where he was like, oh shit, what the hell is going on here? Because he looked for a high fastball. He set up for that high fastball, and as soon as he saw it, he started going up with it. And again, as a catcher, you can't be one of those guys that says, well, I don't see breaks, so I got to go right up for it. But it was supposed to be a high fastball. And then all of a sudden, the bottom just fell out from underneath it. He couldn't get a body on it, went back to the backstop, and then Ole Miss gets a run. Then about 2 or 3 batters later, that was almost Crooks' fault because he just couldn't get his body over enough to it. He saw it go down in the dirt and just missed it. So 2 wild pitches equals 2 runs for Ole Miss. A couple of timely hits keeps the momentum and the pressure on the throat of Oklahoma. And then they had a senior come in and just 3 straight Ks. And that was the deal. So, but I definitely agree. Like, if you take a look here, I'm just kind of looking at the scores from the past game or the past series. On Friday, there was 5 runs, 4 runs in the decisive game, 15 runs in that Stanford Arkansas game. There was 4 runs on the Ole Miss Auburn, 8 runs, 4 runs. So it seems like there was at least a 4 run was the minimum throughout the entire series until, like Mikey said, you really kind of start getting into that Wednesday-Thursday series where it was Oklahoma 5-1, and then it was Arkansas 3-2 over Ole Miss to kind of force that winner-take-all, and then it was Ole Miss 2-0. And then Ole Miss once again blew it up, 7 runs, and then finally it was another close pitcher's duel. So, yeah, offense was definitely there. pitching was there at times, but offense this tournament was there, and I think that was more fun to watch because it was almost more competitive because you had great pitching staffs coming in, being able to do what they do, but at the same time, as soon as somebody started hitting around, stringing a couple of those hits together, boom, it took off, and that was fun to watch.
Nick, real quick, back to the Oklahoma thing. Since this is a shot at you, Josh, since you're the only catcher in this podcast,
Okay.
How hard is it to, go down and block that curveball when you're setting up for a high fastball? Just for like those that are listening and don't really, realize how difficult that catcher position is.
So kind of as you're going and as you're kind of getting set up for that high fastball, you're still, and with the runner on base, you're still set up in that secondary stance to be able to kind of make sure you can get down if you have to. But the way that curveball broke, it was already at about 50, I would say probably 52 feet, and all of a sudden it just took a dive, and you can see it in the video if you actually go online and try to find look at Wheels. He would probably have the game on highlights there, but I mean, you could see that ball just start to drop, and immediately he tried to go from the top of his helmet and starts going down to get over to block it and just kind of going over, but was unable to get it. And at that point, once you see that break, if you can't get a body on it, the best thing that you can do is just try to hustle around to the ball, because a curveball like that with the bottom that just drops on it, it's hard unless it's going to be right at you, or you can just kind of move over and try to put it up. Otherwise, anytime that you're still sitting with a middle high fastball or kind of anything on the corners, that adjustment should be decently easy to make, in my opinion, at least. If that answers your question entirely, hopefully. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a fun CWS to watch. I mean, even the regional tournament, it was just watching all the upsets happen, watching teams kind of come through. The offensive production this year, just in general for teams, was absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. The thing that caught me off guard, though, was 100%. I was like, if Arkansas and Oklahoma are in the final, Arkansas is going to win. But then if Ole Miss and Oklahoma are in the final, I think Oklahoma is going to win. And it's just wrong on both accounts. So
You suck.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, imagine both of you guys picking somebody who gets knocked out in like the second round. Nick getting both of them wrong, having a guy, both teams just 0-2, like 2 and Q.
We don't got to talk about it. We don't got to talk about it. But no, I mean it. And the best thing about this is yes, in some cases games were predictable, but with the way that it was throughout the tournament, you probably, if you could have went quote unquote perfect on this, I think you would have been absolutely outside of your element. Like, you would have had to have gone into the future. It was some back to the future shit. You could not have predicted this. Like, you could have said that Ole Miss coming in, they were really hot. They're on a big run. They could get far in the tournament just based off of kind of like playing with house money, get on the gambler's luck. They're a very, very solid team. 3 very decent starters that proved to be very fatal throughout the entire NCAA tournament this year. But then when you look at it, it's like, okay, where are their factors at? Defensively, they're not the best team. Offensively, they were only hitting 274 coming into the College World Series. They were the lowest batting average as a team coming into the College World Series. Not by much. I think it was only by 7 points, or seven numbers off that, maybe 10. But, I mean, still, you have one of the kind of more shallow offenses. But when you have when you just have like a team chemistry like that, when it's built up, yeah, it gets tough to beat. But I don't think you could have called this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. If you would have gone back,
because you suck.
You would have gone back,
Mikey.
just like you said, and put down money on like giving me odds.
Yeah.
You'd be like, everybody would be like, oh yeah, I'll give you those odds for sure. But then you'd be walking out with a whole ton of money. So it's.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know, man.
I will say it's very impressive. You went, what, 3 days? 4 days with it?
I was going to say, Josh, you had a hell of a run.
I think it was 4 days, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's just the stuff, kind of the stuff that I'd seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few lucky guesses on it, and like full
Well, no.
transparency, like you can predict all you want and all this kind of stuff, but baseball is a beautiful sport, and the ball
Oh yeah,
anyways, and you have to get 27 outs every single game.
yeah.
So
But how many days how many days were you perfect?
I think I was perfect. I know I was perfect for all the first games, and I think 3 of the 4 for the second games. That's when I lost. It was in the evening. I think it was Arkansas Ole Miss actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you were good all the way through, and then Ole Miss threw you for a loop on Arkansas. That 13-5 game is where you got.
So I had 7 consecutive, right?
Because you had Texas A&M over Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Oklahoma over Notre Dame.
Yep.
Then you had Auburn over Stanford.
Yep.
Yeah, Ole Miss threw you for a loop. So you literally went 7 consecutive games of baseball predicting it.
I
Just
am
at least the winner.
much better at predicting than I am playing the sport, I guess. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what was funny too was this is the first time since 1994, or was it? No, it was 99. First time since 1999 that there had not been a top 16 national seed in the championship series.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as a testament to that is like the 16 national seeds are fantastic. But I mean, the last time you really see Cinderella stories like that, the biggest one was Coastal Carolina. NC State would have been there last year if it wasn't for COVID, and then Mississippi State decided to hop in. So, I mean, I believe Mississippi State was national seed. I know Vanderbilt at least was. But, and that's the thing too, is now you've had 3 also SEC champions. You've gone back-to-back SECs. You had Vanderbilt back in 2020. You had Mississippi State in 2021, or 2019, sorry, 2020 got canceled. 2021 was Mississippi State, and then this year was Ole Miss. So SEC continuing the dominance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Is that all we got to cover?
Besides the Golden Spikes Award, which was the good old Hispanic Titanic himself, Ivan Melendez, breaking Chris Bryant's record of 32 nukes in a single season in the BB Core era, which is impressive in itself. I do kind of want to see if I can find his final stat line here. What?
He lifts weights.
He does lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nick,
he is now the 11th Texas player. Ivan Melendez, oh God, if he could be on here, I would love it. That'd be hilarious.
Let's get him on.
I'll try my darndest.
Sign his DM, say horns down.
Say horns down. I'll say that. We'll say that
so, as a final stat line for Ivan Melendez on the season, he had 94 RBIs. He finished hitting, and he had a rough CWS, but he finished hitting 393, and that's huge because he came into the College World Series hitting 400.
Mm-hmm.
And then his slugging percentage. Can anybody guess his slugging percentage? It's a bit. I'll
6 something.
Higher.
7 something.
Higher.
8 something.
Okay.
865.
869.
869. Yep.
Nope. Higher.
Fucking whore.
Nope. He can't be any higher than that.
No. That's where Josh and I are capped out for guesses. Sorry.
Slugging percentage on the year for Ivan Melendez was 877.
If you would have said 870, I would have beat your ass.
I would have done that just to piss you off too. But no, I mean that's impressive. I mean, he was he was college baseball's best hitter. He was tied for 25th with full average at the end of the year when it was all said and done.
How many tanks?
32 home runs. He led the NCAA.
How many Tim Elko have?
Tim Elko, he had 20.
He got close. Pretty sure he got close to 30-something.
I think he had 25 or 26. Let me see here. Let me see if they have his final stat line on for home runs this year. Looking at Ole Miss's site right now. But No, draft talk is coming up soon as well, so that'll be fun to kind of cover if we can hop in on an episode. That should be in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of guys in the CWS that will be high takers in the draft. Melendez would be one. Tim Elko should be one. Graham, the shortstop, Peyton Graham, the shortstop from Oklahoma, should be one of those top guys that are going in.
The shares go like third or fifth round.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of great guys in that draft, and I know. Come on, just give me something. I need to find the stats on this, and it's
while he's
moving
that up. Just a brief update, kind of for our podcast. So, the idea is probably since we're going to be moving into the off season, we're hoping that we can get a bunch of interviews. We have a few interviews that we think we have lined up, but we're going to continue to pursue those. Again, we'll probably post every other week, or it might be spread out just a little bit more since we're not going week to week with a bunch of information on updates within college baseball. And it's going to be a lot more just sharing kind of what happens in the off season, as well as the upcoming season, preparing for that. Just like Nick said, the draft, but all that kind of fun stuff moving forward. But again, it'll be more spread out in this off season.
I was going to say potentially could have the hit list for No Place Like
Homaha. We're going to
Homaha.
murder someone?
No, we're not going to murder somebody. But Tim Elko was murdering baseballs. He had 24 home runs on the year.
Mm-hmm.
Finished with a batting average of 300 as well. So, I mean, that's still impressive. And he was hitting very good in the NCAA tournament and then hitting great in the College World Series as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, we can talk about the No Place After Homaha pod after dark as well.
Yeah. Mikey, we're going to be on the hub.
No, we're not going to be on the hub.
We're going to be on the hub.
Well, maybe.
Yes,
we might submit it for the hub. We don't know.
Baby, let's go. Put us on there.
Put us on there. Cronio Media is going to not sponsor us anymore if we're on the hub.
They're going to pull their partnership and be like, fine.
You'd be like, you know what?
Bro, we're going to get them so much exposure on the hub, they're going to be shooting porn videos within a week.
Oh, my God.
Anyways, so since you're already here on this platform, since we probably have nothing else to talk about today, since you're already here, please like and subscribe to the No Place Like Homaha podcast on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts at.
Full transparency, if we do go on the hub, you need to call us at the doctor's office.
The doctor's office.
Yeah, bro.
Be shot at.
Yeah.
God.
Yes.
Free shout out. Free appointments coming in.
And then we need to wear like stethoscopes when we're in there, bro.
Oh man.
Yes.
Mikey, please show up in a sexy nerd's outfit.
I hope people that we're trying to get to the interview would just watch this episode and they're like,
pass.
Why not?
They'd be like, yeah, I'll do it if that one kid is not on the podcast.
Yeah,
So.
I was gonna say I told the dude that subscribed to them all. I was like, I hope you know, like we are kind of an explicit pod. Like we go a little bit off. And he goes,
unrated, uncut, and uncalled.
Yeah, and he goes, and what's the problem with that? You guys are adults. You guys are just boys having fun. I was like, hell yeah, we are.
I'm a redhead.
Okay, sorry, two dudes and a redhead being two dudes and a redhead. That's literally gonna be the episode name.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
what it is.
Perfect. All right. Well.
All right.
It's been
Sun
fun.
is not a monster.
All right.
Sun is not a monster.
Catch you guys later.
Peace out.